My story began 2 years ago when I still believed I had the perfect family, a wife, a young son, and a stable life. My name is Nick, and I'm 35 years old. My wife, well, ex-wife now, let's call her Na, is 32. Our little boy, Mikey, is 7. Na and I had been together for what felt like forever. We started dating in high school, completely in love, and even chose to attend college in the same city. To secure our future, I joined the Army first, making sure there would be no problems later. Na waited for me, just like we had promised each other. During college, we got married. It wasn't a grand wedding, but it felt special. Then, our son was born and everything changed. Na left school to take care of Mikey, and that's when the real trouble started. After his birth, she was almost never in a good mood. She would argue with me constantly, have sudden outbursts, and throw around accusations without reason. Her behavior became unpredictable. I assumed it was postpartum stress. After all, caring for a newborn is tough. I'm a calm and patient person, so I tried not to react. I thought if I gave her time, she would adjust, and things would eventually go back to normal. That's what I hoped for, but reality had other plans. As Mikey grew older, our marriage only got worse. Sometimes, Na would go completely silent, not just ignoring me, but even shutting out our son. That's when I realized this wasn't normal. We needed to figure things out. However, having a mature conversation with her was impossible. Na was both extremely hot-tempered and emotionally closed off. The worst combination. She could explode over the smallest thing, but when it came to explaining what was actually wrong, she'd shut down completely. I tried everything. I guessed. I read between the lines. I tried to understand her feelings, but most of my attempts failed. On the rare occasions when I got it right, I would feel relieved, only for another argument to erupt out of nowhere soon after. Eventually, I realized I had to do something drastic. One day, I noticed Na had a dating app on her phone. That's when I got an idea. I decided to create a fake profile, using someone else's photo, to see if I could chat her up. If she was really serious about cheating, maybe she'd reveal her intentions to this stranger and I could get some clarity without another screaming match at home. Sure enough, she started talking to my fake account. She was vague about her personal life, but made it clear she'd be open to meeting up in person if she felt a connection. That stung. It was obvious she was ready to step out on me, yet she was strangely private about her daily life. I kept pressing for details, but she held back, saying, "I'm not telling you about my personal life until I know I really like you." That told me two things. She was willing to cheat on me. She wasn't about to open up to just any random guy online. That gave me another idea. Back in high school, before Na and I got together, she had dated another guy. I had essentially stolen her away from him. Let's call him Jake. I still remember what he looked like, so I searched for a more recent photo of him online, social media, old accounts, anything I could find. Using his picture, I created another fake profile. My hunch was that Na might trust her old flame enough to open up completely if she thought she was talking to him. Sure enough, I was right. The moment she recognized Jake, she started sharing everything, like she had been waiting for the chance to unburden herself. Na told Jake she regretted breaking up with him all those years ago, that she wished she had never married me. She kept going on about how Jake had become more successful, earning more money, while she was stuck with a loser, meaning me. And then it got worse. She admitted she hated me. Not just me, our son too, because he looked so much like me. I just sat there at my computer, feeling like someone had ripped my heart out. I mean, come on, she hated our child just because he resembled me? Still, I needed answers. It hurt like hell, but I had more questions to ask. Through that fake profile, I asked, then why not just lead him? Her response? She said she had gotten used to the life we had and was afraid she couldn't support herself alone. Then she added, at least Nick pays the bills. That was her reason for staying in a marriage with someone she openly admitted to hating. Unbelievable. I won't even get into how our sex life had been on life support for a long time, or how I had tried everything to fix things before resorting to this insane undercover approach. But I had one final question. As Jake, I asked, if I told you right now to leave him, if I promised to take care of you, would you ditch your son too and run off with me? She took less than a minute to reply. Yes, I would. She said she'd leave her kid behind because he reminded her too much of me. She'd run off with her high school love if she thought he could support her. That was the last straw. I couldn't keep up the act anymore. I sent her a selfie, the real me, right in that chat, along with a message, start packing and get out. She was in complete shock, like she couldn't believe I had tricked her. Then she switched gears, refusing to agree to divorce, threatening to use our child against me, saying all sorts of nasty things. But I wasn't having it. I hired a great lawyer. He handled our property division so well that she ended up with nothing but her clothes. And in my opinion, that's exactly what she deserved. What she deserved. The next hurdle was custody. In court, Na put on a whole performance, crying giant crocodile tears and claiming she loved our son. She went on about how no child should be taken away from his mother, but it was obvious she was just after child support money, trying to use Mikey as leverage. What she didn't count on was the evidence I had. I submitted the chat logs, along with other proof, making it crystal clear how she really felt about our son. The judge ruled in my favor. Na got visitation rights, but I was awarded primary custody. That's when her true colors showed. The moment she realized she wouldn't get full custody, and presumably child support, she snapped. She stormed out of the courtroom, saying if she couldn't have everything, then she wanted nothing at all. Even the judge commented that he had never felt more certain about a ruling in his life. Through it all, I tried to shield Mikey from a mess. He was only 7. He didn't need that kind of stress. Eventually, though, I had to explain why his mom wasn't around anymore. I left out the ugly details, of course. I didn't tell him how she really felt about him. I just gave him enough of the truth so he wouldn't be confused by her absence or hear wild rumors. He's a smart kid. One day he asked me, "Are you going to find me a new mom?" I guess he had heard about divorce from his classmates. I told him I hadn't really thought much about my love life yet. For the next 6 months, my only focus was being the best dad I could. Then, surprisingly, I met someone. It happened at the playground. I ran into a single mom. I wasn't expecting anything big, but my son instantly took a liking to her. That gave me the confidence to explore it. Now we're living together. I'm not rushing into marriage just yet, and she's okay with that. She gives me everything I was missing in my marriage. For the first time in ages, I feel genuinely happy. Sometimes, it still blows my mind how things turned out. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Life is too short to stay with someone who despises you and your child for no good reason.